Ahead on the news tonight, Nigerian Air Force sustained military onslaught operations against terrorists around Lake Chad. Lawyers to file cases via cutting-edge technology with Bayelsa as pilot state. Plus, key stakeholders in Akwa Ibom State X-Ray Petroleum Industry Act 2021. Details shortly. Good evening and welcome to Nta Calabar News at 7. I am Ode Alenyo, and now the news in details. The Nigerian Air Force air compartment under Operation Hardin Kai has destroyed several terrorist elements and their boats in continued military onslaught against terrorists and insurgents hiding on islands and localities around the Lake Chad. A statement by the NAV says this was achieved following credible intelligence on 20th October 2021 that about 20 boats with suspected Boko Haram ISWAP terrorists were converging for a meeting on an island around Lake Chad and at Malam Fatori. 3 NAV aircraft under Operation Hardin Kai were scrambled to carry out strikes on the targets, consisting about 20 boats with 5 to 7 suspected terrorists in each boat. Using a mix of bombs and rockets, the 3 aircraft carried out a series of strikes and scored hits on the targets. The new Commissioner of Police Bayelsa State Command CP Benjamin Okolo has promised to synergize with members of community and other relevant stakeholders for effective policing of the state. He spoke at a maiden meeting with top officials of the command shortly after assumption of duty at the state police headquarters in Yenegua. Imo Etimodo reports.
May I have permission to match up the guard?
On the heels of the welcome formalities by officers and men of the command, the new Commissioner of Police, Bayelsa State, Benjamin Okolo, acknowledged security challenges in Bayelsa State and promised to tackle them with professionalism.
I'm aware that the state is being confronted with threats of kidnap, cultism, and some other heinous crimes. To continue to deal with these security challenges, we will synergize with all stakeholders in the command. Particularly, we will take advantage of community engagement, of the community policing initiative, as well as effective utilization of our intelligence capabilities.
The police commissioner franked at all aspects of incivility among officers and said such will not be tolerated under his watch. He hinted that the monitoring unit of the command will be activated to swing into action.
We deal with cases of incivility to members of the public, extortion, and all forms of discreditable conduct. To quote the Inspector General of Police in the last briefing he had with commissioners of police, these professional infractions utterly negate our policing values, just as they negatively impact on our drive to smoothen our partnership with citizens.
With his assumption of duty, the new police boss is the 34th Commissioner of Police posted to Bayelsa State Command, taking over from the immediate past CP Echeng, now redeployed to Anambra State. He has good news for all. The new police boss came with a message for all stakeholders. To members of the public, he promises civility and professionalism in relating with them. To the political class, he assures of being apolitical in the discharge of his duties. He also personally delivered a message from the IG assuring of the welfare of officers and men of the Nigeria Police. From the headquarters of the Nigerian Police, Bayelsa State.
The Nigerian Police Force Zone 6 headquarters has nabbed a social media freak for defaming a leading hospitality facility in Calabar via TikTok. The Assistant Inspector General of Police Zone 6 headquarters, Osman Sule Gomna, says this is in line with his commitment to leave no stone unturned in making the zone safe and secure. Achibon Basi has details.
The middle-aged female suspect on the 12th of August 2021 had taken to TikTok to express her displeasure over an incident alleged to have occurred at a hospitality facility without verifying the information.
At the reception, the guy there told me he cannot disclose any information to me about this person I'm looking for, and that I should leave. So I left. I was outside the premises of the hotel, still trying to communicate with him, but he wouldn't get back to me. So the next day, the person that sent him to me in Canada sent me a message on WhatsApp telling me that this is what has happened. I told him I can't believe it. So he called me on a video call to tell me this is what has happened. In the process of me doubting him, he got angry and started calling me names. He said, me and my country, we are criminals. It was something huge I was expecting from him, so I got angry and made that video on the 13th.
Sadly for this lady, following a credible intelligence, she was picked up by the operatives of the Zonal Intelligence Bureau on the 18th of October 2021 in connection with the video which had gone viral on TikTok and other social media platforms.
On interrogation, she claimed to have been scammed by somebody outside the country, that 2 Canadians were robbed of their valuables, their hotel rooms ransacked.
The suspect, however, regrets her actions for not verifying an information given to her by her Canadian friend before taking to the social media, and apologizes to Nigerians for sending out a misleading information. In Calabar, Achibo Basi, NTA News.
Some of the fleeing inmates of Medium Correctional Center, popularly referred to as Obolongo in Oyo Town, have been rearrested. This follows the manhunts conducted by Joint Task Force team. Correspondent Adekunle Adebayo in Oyo reports that the State Controller of Nigerian Correctional Service and other top security are assessing the level of destruction.
The number of the inmates that escaped after the attack is yet to be confirmed, as the inventory is still being taken. It was, however, believed that most of the inmates took advantage of the attack to escape from the facility. Oyo State Controller of the Nigerian Correctional Service, Ailewon Noel, while describing the incident as unfortunate, confirmed that a number of the fleeing inmates have been arrested.
I just got a distress call from the officer in charge yesterday night at about 10:15 that some men of the underworld came to attack the custodial center in Abolongo, and they came in their large numbers and with weapons and dynamite. I've been able to network with other security agencies. As you can see, they're all here on ground. Since last night, they've been on ground, and we've been doing work together in synergy in ensuring that we capture all the inmates that are at large.
They also confirmed that security men are already on the trail of the bandits who were the masterminds of the attack. In Oyo, Adekunle Adebayo, NTA News.
Still on security matters, it is 1 year after the 2020 TAG NSAS protests, scars and wounds from its aftermath have continued to remain visible, arising from actions alleged to have been hijacked by hoodlums who caused unprecedented destruction of lives as well as private and public property. Udrak Etum reports that 1 year on, some organizations are still struggling to rebuild, renovate, and repair their facilities. The report.
The 2020 NSAS protest, which dramatically evolved in the middle of the global COVID-19 pandemic, was seen as a threat to the country's stability, even as the protesters alleged to have demanded for an end to police brutality, justice for victims, and greater restoration of the nation's democratic mandate. Based on the fact that the movement was hijacked by hoodlums, the Nigerian Television Authority Nta Calabar was one of the worst hit organizations during the incidents, following the high level of destruction done on its facility. How is the station faring a year after the horrible experience?
Make the environment better by tiling all the offices that we are having rugs before. We've been able to buy equipment to put in place to improve our quality of transmission. I want to use this medium to sincerely thank Mr. Governor, Senator Ben Ayade, for his magnanimity and philanthropy in assisting Nta Calabar.
The protest across the nation took a different dimension, and Cross River State was not left out, as the motive behind it was the attack on government facilities and private establishments, which are presently struggling to come alive. There is, however, a call on the federal government to provide employment for the youths.
I think it's high time the government stood up to their responsibility, meet the demands, at least the ones that can be met, and make plans, to ensure that there's good governance in Nigeria.
The government has to address the issue of unemployment and also empower the youth.
Some concerned Nigerians on the NSAS memorial say, given the right to protest should be exercised but never abused, advising Nigerian youths to always adhere to democratic ideals for a progressive society. In Calabar, Uduak Etam, NTA News.
You are watching news reaching you live from the studio of NTA Channel 9 Calabar. You can watch this newscast on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/NTA Calabar. We'll come back after the break. Lawyers in Bayelsa State can file cases from their comfort zone via cutting-edge technology to enhance speedy dispensation of justice. This was confirmed at the initial test of the technology with Bayelsa as the pilot state. Doris Akumaye has details.
Gone are the days where lawyers and judges battle with endless case files and manual ways of delivering judgments in the courtrooms. The situation is now different with the introduction of cutting-edge technology system in place. Presenting the new technology to lawyers in Bayelsa State, the Chief Judge of Borno State and the driver of the innovation, Justice Kashim Zainal, says the drive is to ensure that judicial operations in the country are in line with global practice. He urged lawyers to embrace the innovation and ensure it is sustained.
The idea is we are going to save time so that judicial process will be faster and our people will have more confidence in the court system.
Chief Judge of Bayelsa State, who has been championing the cause, is appreciative of the initiative, which will enhance speedy dispensation of justice, urging members of the bar to take advantage of it.
In the first place, right now, we are not even writing in longhand anymore. So that one has cut short the process of taking evidence in court. And if we now follow this e-filing, it will further cut short the process. So we'll find a situation where the litigants will be now very happy to come to court.
It's definitely, there are bound to be hiccups. You rise, you fall, you rise, you fall, you get to perfection. By the next few years, we'll all brace up to the challenge. The court staff, the judges, the lawyers, everybody will brace up to the challenge.
The new technology covers 3 components: e-filing, legal mail, and Nigerian case management system. Inyenegoa Doris Akomonye, NTA News.
Key stakeholders from oil-producing communities of Akwa Ibom State converge in Uyo, the state capital, to discuss and debate on the provisions of the new Petroleum Industry Act 2021 recently assented to by President Muhammadu Buhari. Correspondent Ifeoma Akhoje reports that the interactive and sensitization session, the first in the series, is at the instance of the National Orientation Agency in collaboration with the Civil Society and the Legislative Advocacy Center. The report.
The Petroleum Industry Act 2021, which was signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari, is to provide a framework for regulation, business and corporate responsibility of Nigeria's oil and gas industry in line with emerging international and local dynamics. For better understanding of this law and knowledgeable participation in the implementation, the National Orientation Agency NOA, Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center CISLAC, and other NGOs organized a sensitization program which allowed stakeholders the platform to vent their perception about the new law.
The IOC should stand tall and be faithful to the act by ensuring that that money that we are talking about is brought on the table on time.
It's also very hard for us to work with the communities concerned
to see how we can bring up the dividends in that small manner, and then call for an amendment when necessary.
The Director General of NOA and Executive Director of CISLAC believe that the law, when duly implemented, will provide a framework for accelerated development of the Niger Delta region.
That's why it is important that it should be inclusive from the point of implementation, from the earliest point of implementation.
There are certain provisions that are contained in the law with only community insistence, monitoring, and ensuring that there is accountability in the utilization of these funds and the opportunity within the Act, that we can be able to see how this benefit can actually accrue to the community.
The interactive session featured presentations on the benefits of the Petroleum Industry Act 2021 to the host community and the economy, as well as the role of citizens in enhancing the smooth implementation of this law. In Uyo, Ifoma Aihuji, NTA News.
West African nations have been alerted over possible invasion desert locusts that are capable of destroying farmlands and other green vegetation. It is in the light of this that Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations has organized a capacity building workshop for officers in charge of pest control in Nigeria on ways to control the ravaging locust. Musa Babaliu has details.
Desert locusts are rated as the most destructive migratory pests in the world. They move in swarms, eating any kind of plant or grass in their path. The pests are at present in the Horn of Africa, in countries such as Ethiopia, Kenya, Sudan, and Eritrea.
In 5-6 days, they can cross country to countries. And the movement is seasonal movement, so they breed in the summer in an area and in the winter in another area, and they move between the areas looking for mainly rain and vegetation.
The species of the locust is yet to be in West Africa. However, with the pattern of movement covering close to 200 kilometers a day, fears are being entertained that the pest could find its way to the region.
The prediction we got from FAO was that this region could be invaded through Sudan and then coming through in the region through Chad and Mauritania, which are the frontline countries within the region. So right now we are putting in place some measures to anticipate, because once those pests are here, the management is very difficult.
Nigeria has been already put on alert, just as ECOWAS and FAO train pest control officers on methods of identifying and managing the pests.
Migratory, in fact, the territory which they breed is so large that you cannot even really effect control at that point. And the control again is very difficult because they are moving in millions, such that if they invade a country or a territory, in a space of about 1 hour, you can be sure that you can lose the whole of your green vegetation. Everything green goes down.
There are already cases of locust invasion of plantations in some parts of the country. Experts say the destruction by desert locusts is more devastating than the one being experienced in the country presently. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The Nigerian Center for Disease Control has confirmed 176 new cases of COVID-19 from 12 states as at 22nd October 2021. Statistics shows that the Federal Capital Territory topped the chart with 73 cases, followed by Plateau with 25 cases, Rivers 20, Kano 18, Lagos 15, Bauchi 9, and Osun with 8 cases. While other states affected are Ekiti 3, Edo 2, Bayelsa, Niger, and Sokoto recorded 1 case respectively. Meanwhile, the total confirmed cases of the virus in the country stand at 210,136, with 198,117 persons treated and discharged, while 2,855 persons died of the virus. And finally, the Nigerian Air Force, on its continued military onslaught against terrorists, have destroyed several insurgents' hideouts around Lake Chad. Lawyers in Bayelsa State can now file cases from their comfort zone via cutting-edge technology, a development that will enhance speedy dispensation of justice in the country. It was also in the news that critical stakeholders in oil-producing communities in Akwa Ibom State x-rayed Petroleum Industry Act 2021. That's it from our news tonight. Good night.